Yo! Hey Free Loops, this is Bo. We're gonna make another video. Pretty exciting. It's gonna be on a Mercury Classic 50, which is really just a 45 horsepower outboard. I didn't see any videos on how to rebuild the lower unit, put new seals in it, all the new seals, water seals for your prop. And that's obviously pretty important. You get water in your prop, you get water down in the lower unit, and then it destroys itself. It should have oil down there, so if you take out your two flathead screws, drain screw and your vent screw, and there's no oil in there, it's gonna cook everything. So basically we got a couple things here. I'll show you the kit that I got. Bam, there you go. That's one rebuildable. That's a nylon nut. You're definitely gonna want one of those. There's your impeller seal. This is a whole kit from Quicksilver for all the seals that go in the lower unit. There's your impeller. The impellers are cheap. They're like 17 bucks. This is what actually cools. This is your water pump for an outboard. You definitely want to replace these at least once a year, once every 2 years. Check on them at least once a year. They wear out. You know, they sit inside. They don't get used very often. If you don't take your boat out all the time, and they start dry every single time. So basically, there's the kit. That's the parts we're going to use. I'm going to show you what we're working on. Wicked, right there. It's a whaler. This is like a 72 whaler, maybe like a 14 footer, I think. I don't know. We used the hell out of this son of a bitch. This is the wakeskate machine right here. This has more hours than anybody else's boats. All the Malibus, wake setters, the Axis, none of that shit even gets used really. We use it a little bit, but this right here is the machine. As you can see, that's the motor. I got the cover and stuff off of it. Not a real big issue. There's your cover. To get these things off is really simple too, okay? Like, this is what it looks like not assembled, obviously. You just got one bolt here, 2 bolts in the back, there's 3 bolts all together, and this one in the back, right here. Here, there's 2 right back here. Gravity would just let this thing slide down unless it's locked up for some reason. A lot of you guys seem to have problems getting those free. You shouldn't really. Once you get those bolts free, those 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 bolts, it just kind of goes right apart. I'll show you that when we put it back together, how simple it just slides up in there. The only thing you really got to worry about is your alignment on this shaft right here. There's actually a shaft. I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. There's a shaft in there, and that shaft is what actually shifts between forward and reverse and neutral on our seat here. So, you know, when you move that, it rotates a lever back there, one way or the other. I'll show you guys how we're going to do this here pretty soon. All right, so I gave you guys kind of a rundown of what we're working on. Okay, how this thing showed up is it showed up from a customer of mine. We use it all the time as a buddy of mine. He had been using it, and he pulled it up a driveway or something, a curb, and hit the prop really hard. And he hit it hard enough to actually pop one of the nylon lock assembly ring that holds all this stuff together. And when he did that, this shaft right here you can see was able to push this way. So now this is your ring and pinion gears, okay? This is the ring gear. There's another ring gear inside here and a pinion gear that sits in between the two. And so it actually pulled this away, so it was just sitting there in neutral. The engine would run, but nothing else will work. So if you had a problem, like perhaps that the engine, the power head works, but say that you're not going in any gears at all, you might have an alignment problem with that little shift lever that I told you about. Maybe it's not engaging completely. Or you can just grab a hold of the shaft, the prop shaft, and pull on it. And if you can pull it a lot, it should be in there pretty snug. It shouldn't be able to move a 1/4 inch in and out, okay? So I'm going to show you guys kind of how this thing is put together. Most Mercuries of these years are going to be about the same, alright? So this is your actual lower unit. This is the lower unit, this is the foot, whatever you want to call it. This right here is where your impeller goes. Your impeller actually sits inside this cavity right here. This is an impeller. This is the old one. As you can see, it's pretty jacked up looking. It's been in there for a long time. As you can see, there's tears in it. The tears, eventually these things will just rip off, and then you'll have no cooling ability, and the thing will overheat. And considering we run the shit out of this thing, I don't want it to overheat. I want to use it all summer and just have fun when I'm having fun. So this is your housing that slides in there. We got a new gasket. We got a new impeller. These bolts, these 3 bolts right here, bang, bang, bang. All 3 of those hold the impeller in. These 2 big ones, 3/8 bolts, 3/8, 3/8, and one goes right in here. Those 3 actually hold the foot to the motor itself, okay? And this is what I told you guys is your shift lever. It's just got to be aligned properly. It spins in a circle. That kicks you in neutral, reverse, or forward. And that's your long shaft. It just slides right up in there. This thing spins and the engine's spinning. This is what actually moves the prop. It goes down here, makes a 90-degree turn. As you can see in there's one of your pinion gears, the pinion gear and one of the ring gears. There's your other one. So this thing slides in there like that. Obviously, it's not ready right now, but as you can see, this nylon nut right here holds it in. This one's destroyed. All the threads have been ripped off of it from when it hit the curb so hard. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how you, if this thing was together, obviously I took some of the seals off, but I'll show you kind of how you get it free, okay? This is inside of your unit. This thing's held together with a nylon ring like that. You can see that all those are blown out. This thing right here just basically sits in there and threads. Put a thread in there, just like that, all the way down until you get it all the way in there. This is the old one. I'm obviously not going to use it. What we're going to want to replace is these seals right here. There's a seal right here and there's another one on the inside. We're going to replace both of those. We're also going to replace this O-ring that goes right in here. Here's the kit. As you can see, man, it's a pretty advanced kit. It comes with all the seals you're going to need, probably for a few different models. Some extra seals. This is the one that I'm going to be concerned with, as you can see. So now we're going to slap it all together. Show you how she goes. Here, I'm going to show you guys how to yank these seals out of this shaft and this Mercury shaft. Here you go. There it is. There's one. First one. Notice it's metal. Metal on the other side. The outer seal. I just used a screwdriver and popped it out. Next seal is an inner seal. It's right there. I got this little thing that I made. It's pretty redneck. It's just 2 bolts, 90 on it. Slides up behind there. Then you just tap on it on this end right here with a hammer, and it'll just pop right out as you work your way around. I'm going to do that right now. Bam, there you go. Okay, other one's off. Outer, inner. Inner goes like this. This one gets on top. You can see the inner's a little bit different. Slides in like that. This one goes like that. And they sit in there and they keep your shaft. This shaft, right on that seal, it's right here, spins and keeps water out. Now we're going to put it all back together. I'm going to show you guys how it goes back together. You've already seen this part. Bam, bam. I'm going to replace that with these over here. Put my new O-ring on here. Make sure everything lines back up with my shaft and stuff back in, and I'll show you that in just a second. There you go, seals are in. I kind of skipped past because I didn't have time to hold the camera and do all that kind of crazy stuff, but basically what I did, I just came over here and grabbed a socket that's about the same diameter, line that one up a little bit and each one up and tap it in a little bit, and just slide something that has a similar diameter and press it down, tap it, tilt it down. Don't beat on it, but just tap it down. There you go, both seals are in now. There you go, she's ready to get reinstalled. New O-ring. This part right here, make sure you don't lose it. Slides right in there like that. That's actually what pushes this gear in and out, forward or reverse. And that thing's ready to slide right back in here. Make sure we didn't slide it up yet. She's going to be tight now with a new seal. And she's got a cotter key that lines her up. There you go. Now you're ready for your nylon. This is a locking tab that slides in there. Bang. And your new nylon lock nut. We're going to put this in there and thread it in clockwise. Hey people, we're almost done. I'm going to show you what we did. Check it. Seal right here, comes out with a screwdriver. Looks just like this. I put it on a vise because it's way easier. This right here, O-ring, seal. Seal, came with a kit, O-ring. This went right over your shaft, just like that. Hit it with a screwdriver. It's clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen. And this keeps your shaft, keeps water from getting in the lower end from the shaft seal. Definitely want to replace that. I went ahead and put back all this. As you can see, now you can see where this goes. Just a plastic ring and a metal safety tab right there. So you can see I bent it back to try and hold it in. Plastic nut, nylon washer that locks it all in the same way. Clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen. So this thing's almost ready to go back together. We'll get it knocked out and show you the final product. Alright, here you go. It's done. New water pump, impeller, shaft, seals, already ready to rock and roll. That's where your prop would go. It's in neutral right now. So now we got to line it and put it all on. Hi, Matt.
What's up, bud? What's up, internet land?
Ooh, what's he got going on there?
Just putting AC in this 88 Camaro.
It's a ballin' ass 88 Camaro.
Oh, yeah.
Why does it need air conditioning?
Because I live in Florida. It's hot.
It's a pretty fresh ass Camaro. It's got a black fender. It's nice. Anyway, back to the Whaler. There you go. It's all back together. I showed you guys. There's your bolts. 1. You see up here. 2. There's 1 way up here. 3. And the last one's over here. Tighten up all those. This whole thing will drop or go back up. See if she runs. Runs good, ready to rock and roll.